Okay, so on that handout that I gave you, as we go through these steps, I want you guys to write this out, okay? Once again, give me thumbs up or thumbs down whether you understand it or not. Erica, plug in, okay? All right, so we have a graph in front of us, right? We want to write this in y equals mx plus b form. And typically when we go to graph, we start with the b, right? If we're trying to write this out in a linear format, we do the same exact thing in regards to inequality, okay? So we're going to start at the b. Where's the b on this one? What type of 2?
Negative.
Yep, -2, because this is 0 in the middle. We start with the y-intercept. It's -2, it's down 2. So on A, write -2. Now, we know that we have an x, so go ahead and write the x. What's in front of the x? Rise and run, right? Slope. So, here's our next dot. So from here, it's up 1 over 1. So we just write it as x, right? Because it's just going up 1 over 1. Or technically, we could write it as -1 over -1, but normally you wouldn't see that because that would be 1. So this just ends up being x. Well, is this greater than or less than? What's the inequality here? The fact that it's shaded up. What's greater? These are negatives, right? These are positives up here. So in this case, this one would be greater than. So it's going to be pointing here. The line is dashed, so there's no little line underneath there, and then we write y. So if we were to go graph this out, this should match. We go -2, we go up 1 over 1, that's our slope, there's our line. Any questions? Let me see thumbs up or down. Okay, what part aren't we getting? Erica, do you understand that's -2? Where these connect up, this is 0. This is the origin, okay? This is positive, this is positive, this is negative, this is negative. So if I go from 0, and I count 1, and I count 2, that's -2. That's where the line is crossing the y-axis. That's what we're concerned with. That's what the b in the formula is, okay? Now from here, we see what the rise and run is. Rise means up, run means over, okay? So we're up 1 over 1. Well, in algebra, we don't write 1x. We assume if there's a variable, it always has a value of 1, so we just write x, okay? If this were going up 2, then we write 2x, if it was only going over 1. If it was going over multiple, we would write as a fraction, and then it's always equal to y. That's what slope form is. So looking at this one, we're going to do the same thing, okay? So this is 0, and this is going positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our b is 5, and it's plus 5, okay? Then we're going to write our x, and we're going to figure our rise and run from where that crosses. So from right here, we're going up 2, and we're going over 1. We normally don't write the 1, because it's always at least over 1, right? So we're going to write 2 in front of here. This is less than, it's going down. The line is solid, so it's going to be pointed this way, line y. Where's that y? Any questions there? Remember on the number line, 0, 5, -5. This is less than, this is greater than, okay? So, on your do now, you're going to do the same thing, okay? You're going to write this in a linear equality for this. So this is going to be your b, there's your rise, there's your run. This is going to be your b, this is your rise, this is your run. If this is going down, how do we write that? Is it rise and run? If it's going down versus up. It's negative. Okay? So this one's going to be negative, and and it's whatever that number is, it's just negative because it's a run of 1. So this one, same thing. There's our b. What's the rise and run? Well, in this case, it looks like it's 1 over 1. So you want to write all 3 of these in linear form. Okay? You're going to have greater than, less than. you're going to have greater than or equal to. So this one's going up, this one's going down. Oh, I forgot to shade that one for some reason. I'll shade this one. Put that on your handout. Okay, so pretty straightforward there. You want to write down where it crosses the intercept, figure out the rise and run, put it in linear form. Okay. Now, this one, these two. This one we don't have an ordered pair. This one we have an ordered pair. So we're doing the same thing. We're going to do substitution in here. So I'm going to write that down. Make sure you write this down in your notes. We're going to sub 0, 0 in this to solve for it. Okay? So when we do that, we're going to take this and we're going to rewrite it. X minus y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? And the idea here is we're trying to get this to y equals mx plus b form, regardless of the inequality. That part doesn't matter. So we need the y by itself. So we're going to subtract x from both sides. Okay? This is going to cancel the x out. And we're going to write negative y greater than or equal to negative x plus 0. The 0 really doesn't matter, but I'll show you what we do with it. So we have a negative y here, which we can't have. Okay? We can't have a negative variable. There's no such thing. So we have the imaginary 1 in front of there, so that means we have to divide this by negative 1 to get this y all by itself. Then we have to divide all this by negative 1. So this cancels out. This becomes y greater than or equal to. This is a negative over a negative, so it turns as positive. It's just x. And then this is 0, so this part doesn't even matter. We can leave it alone like this. Now we can actually graph this. Because if we don't have a b, what do we use if we don't have a b? Origin. We use origin. So we're going to put a dot right there in the middle. Okay? Our rise and run is 1 over 1. So we're going to go up 1 and over 1. That's our next point. This line is solid, so we're going to go ahead and form the line. So we form the line. Okay? Now, this is greater than or equal to. So it's solid line, and we're going to shade up. Okay, so we're going to shade up. After we shade up, we're going to go put the order pair that we substitute in for, which in this case, we don't have any math. Because we use 0, 0 for our ordered pair. Well, look, it's already that way, right? So we're going to go plot that out. It's going to be right in the middle. It's on the line, so it counts. So we write 0, 0. Is a solution. We're done with this one. Okay, let's go through this one a little slower. We got to get this in slope form, which means we need to get y by itself. Okay, so we're going to subtract x from both sides. Then we have a negative y. We have to bring down this negative. We divide both sides by negative 1. Negative by negative turns this positive. We don't need to worry about the 0. It has no bearing on it. So we're able to graph this out because when we don't have a b, we start at origin. And we go up 1 and over 1, because that's what our slope is there. Then we replace y and x with 0, and we solve for it. Okay? Well, in this case, we didn't have anything to solve for. It's on the line, it's within the shaded area, so it is a solution. Okay? Now, this next one. The very first thing we're going to do, this is already in slope form, isn't it? We have a b, we have a rise and run. Okay? So you're going to rewrite this. Y greater than 4x plus 7, and draw a line underneath it. Then from here, we're going to replace our x and our y. So up here, I want you to label this, x and y. So our y is going to be 7. We're going to replace it. 4, we're going to make parentheses for the x. It's 0 plus 7. Then we're going to solve. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 7. Bring down the 7. 7, 7. Now we're going to go graph this out, because we took care of this part. We'll see on the graph whether it's a solution or not. So we're going to start at 7 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to have a dot, and we're going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go over 1. So this is our line. It's dashed because it's not equal to, so the line is going to go like this. This is greater than, so that means it's going to shade up. Now, our ordered pair is 0, 0, right? So 0, 0 goes right here. So is this a solution? No, because it's not in the shaded area, okay? So our last thing is we're going to write 0, 0 is not a solution. Okay, one more time. This is already in linear format, okay? We have an ordered pair, 0 and 7. That's my x, that's my y. I'm going to replace it in here. So substitution, x becomes 0, y becomes 7. We multiply 4 times 0, which is 0, bring down to 7, and then 7 is greater than 7. Well, 7 actually can't be greater than 7. If this symbol was the other way, we would be okay, because what would happen is the graph would go down this way, okay? A number can never be greater than itself, it always can be less than itself, okay? So that's why this doesn't end up being a solution. So when we go to graph this out, we go to 7, we go up 4 over 1, that's our rise and run, dashed line greater than shaded up. We plot the ordered pair out that we use to substitute. So 0, 0, it's not within the shaded area, it's not a solution, okay? And that's really it. Equal to, line solid, greater than, shaded up, less than, shaded down. If there's no line, it's a dashed line. Everything we're trying to do, we're trying to get it into y equals mx plus b form. We have an ordered pair, we're plugging it in and seeing if it's a true statement. So, do now. This is just like the two examples that we just did. You want to write these in an inequality form. So y less than or greater than equal to. If it's equal to, it's a solid line, so both of those are going to be that way. And then these two, you're going to take the ordered pair, you're going to plug them in here and solve for it, but after you get this in slope form. After you get this one in slope form, you're going to plug in the ordered pair, and then you're going to graph them out. Okay, you want to graph them out the proper way, shading, and then plug in the ordered pair and tell me whether it's a solution. So you're doing it just like these two, okay? Now, these two, you don't have ordered pairs, right? So you're going to plug in 0, 0 for this one and 0, 0 for this one and solve for it and then go and graph it. So these two are just like this one. These two are just, these two are just like this one and these two are just like this one, okay? So you want to finish these 7 questions and then you want to make sure that you turn in that worksheet and then we're ready for the test tomorrow. Okay? Any questions? We're good? Okay. So you want to knock out those 7 questions and get it turned in today, okay?